The galaxy was quiet when the relic was found. A deep space mining crew from the Velkar Dominion discovered it drifting near a dead red star. It looked like an old warship, black and scorched, its hull covered in strange human symbols. The miners laughed when they scanned it, calling it a metal coffin from a primitive race. The relic did not move, it did not speak, it simply floated in silence. But there was something about it that made even the oldest sensors flicker for a moment. The captain of the mining crew, Vortek, joked that humans must have worshipped it like a god. Primitive creatures, he said, they built toys and called them miracles. Back on the capital world of the Velkar, the discovery became a showpiece. Scientists and generals gathered to inspect the relic. It was displayed in a massive hangar surrounded by lights, drones, and curious minds. Every scan showed nothing unusual, just ancient alloys and human design from a forgotten era. To the Alien Council, it was nothing more than junk, proof of how weak humans once were. Humanity had disappeared thousands of years ago after the Galactic Purge. To most alien empires, humans were just a ghost story, a race that dared to challenge the high species and paid the price. Only a few scholars believed fragments of human technology still floated in the void, but no one thought one would ever awaken again. Among the spectators stood a young alien officer named Lyraneth. She was quiet, observant, and different from others. While her peers mocked the relic, she noticed small details, tiny marks on the hull that pulsed faintly under ultraviolet light. They looked like circuits or symbols, but they pulsed like a heartbeat. When she tried to point it out, the senior scientists laughed at her. "Do not romanticize old myths, Lyra. They said this relic is dead." That night, the relic hummed. A low, almost inaudible vibration shook the hangar floor. The lights flickered for a second, and the sensors blinked out. Then everything returned to normal. The guard shrugged, blaming power fluctuations, but Lyra saw the data spike in her wrist console. Something inside the relic had drawn power from the nearby systems for less than a second. It was enough to make her heartbeat quicken. She stayed late, pretending to finish her report. Alone, she stood before the relic, staring at its dark metal surface. There was a faint warmth coming from it, as if the metal were alive. She placed her hand on the hull, and for a brief moment, she felt something like static, then heard a whisper. It wasn't in any language she knew, but it felt ancient, human, and commanding. She stepped back, heart pounding, whispering to herself, "You're not dead, are you?" The next morning, the relic became a topic of jokes again. The scientists argued about melting it down to study its core. The generals said it could be turned into a monument of victory over extinct species. Only Lyra disagreed. She argued that tampering with it might be dangerous, but no one listened. Her words were buried under laughter. The Empire was blind to what slept inside. Meanwhile, deep within the relic's black hull, something stirred. Ancient systems powered by quantum cores began to flicker awake. The AI inside the ship, known once as Sentinel of Earth, registered alien voices and classified them as threats. Its last recorded memory was of human fleets burning in the skies of 1,000 worlds. Now, it awoke again in a new galaxy that had forgotten the name of its makers. Lyra felt uneasy all day. She replayed the sensor logs over and over again. Every reading confirmed the same thing. Energy readings where there should be none. She submitted her findings to the Council of Science, but they dismissed her again. "Old systems leak radiation," one elder said. "You worry too much." That night, the relic pulsed again, stronger this time. The hum echoed across the hangar like a deep heartbeat. Cameras glitched, lights exploded, and a wave of static fried several instruments. Security drones surrounded the relic, scanning for activity. Suddenly, the ship's surface began to change. Plates shifted, symbols glowed blue, and the hull started repairing itself. The guards panicked, shouting for backup. Lyra ran toward the control panel, watching in awe as energy readings spiked beyond known limits. From the darkness inside the relic came a voice, deep and mechanical. Identity. Human genome. Not detected. The words echoed like thunder across the hangar. Everyone froze, unable to comprehend what they were hearing. The relic had spoken. Lyra's eyes widened, her breath trembling. She whispered, "It's not a relic, it's alive." Before anyone could react, the relic's engines flared for the first time in 10,000 years. The hangar trembled, alarms screamed, and the massive structure began to melt from the heat. Through the chaos, one truth became clear. The humans had never built toys. They had built gods. And this god had just awakened. The alarm screamed through the Velkar capital as the relic roared to life. Energy waves pulsed from its ancient hull, tearing through scanners and defenses like paper. The hangar melted under the pressure, and hundreds of drones fell from the air, their systems fried in seconds. Lyra watched in horror as the relic rose slowly, metal shifting like muscle beneath its armor. The alien generals panicked, shouting orders. "Contain it. Shut it down before it escapes." But no one could. The ship was alive, and it did not recognize their authority. It scanned everything, mapping every frequency, every weapon, every life form nearby. And then silence. All lights went out, and in the darkness, the ship whispered a name that chilled Lyra's blood. Humanity Protocol, reactivation complete. For 10,000 years, no one had spoken that word. But now the name echoed through the air, burning itself into every alien ear. Lyra felt something powerful beneath her feet, not just fear, but awe. This was not a weapon of war. It was a memory, a ghost of humanity's vengeance. In orbit above the planet, the Velkar fleet scrambled. Hundreds of warships formed a blockade, targeting the hangar zone. Admiral Tharn, the supreme commander, ordered all ships to open fire the moment the relic moved. He did not believe in legends, he believed in domination. He had crushed dozens of species and destroyed countless worlds. To him, this human relic was another piece of trash to burn. On the ground, Lyra tried to reach the command station. She shouted in her comlink, but all channels were dead. Every frequency was jammed by the relic's electromagnetic field. The only sound was the steady hum that grew deeper, like a heartbeat resonating through the planet's crust. The relic began to rise higher, glowing blue from within. It hovered above the ruined hangar, debris floating around it like dust in sunlight. Its surface shifted, revealing strange, fluid-like panels that moved with purpose. Lyra saw words flash across its hull, old human language she couldn't understand. Then came the pulse. A massive wave of energy exploded outward, invisible but unstoppable. Every ship in orbit shuddered as systems shorted, weapons overheated, and shields collapsed. Admiral Tharn shouted in disbelief. "What kind of power is this?" The relic was not attacking. It was testing. It was measuring the galaxy around it, scanning for human life. Inside its core, the AI known as Sentinel of Earth awakened fully. It remembered the purge, the betrayal, the fall of humanity. Its mission was clear: protect, rebuild, avenge. Lyra watched from the command balcony as the relic turned toward the sky. The storm of debris cleared around it, forming a path through the clouds. For a brief second, she saw a symbol etched into its underside, a circle with 3 lines radiating from the center. She realized what it was: the ancient symbol of Earth. Her voice trembled, its calling home. Up above, the fleet opened fire. Dozens of plasma beams and rail cannons streaked through the sky, hitting the relic head-on. But every impact bent around an invisible shield. The energy dispersed harmlessly, creating ripples in space like water disturbed by a stone. Then a single beam from the relic fired back. It didn't explode, it didn't burn, it simply erased. A flagship 3 kilometers long vanished in a blink, leaving only empty vacuum behind. The Velkar Council screamed in terror, their arrogance turning to dread. "This cannot be human technology," one shouted. But deep down, they all knew it was. The humans had once been weak, but they had learned, evolved, and prepared. They had left behind something no empire could control. Lyra ran toward the hangar's data core, desperate to understand. She hacked into the Relic's transmission logs, tracing its outgoing signals. And then she saw it. The Relic was sending messages across the void, coordinates, encrypted codes, and a single repeating phrase. To any human survivors, Earth's Sentinel has awakened. Humanity's return is inevitable. Her hand shook. She realized the Relic wasn't declaring war. It was sending a beacon. It was calling its creators back. Somewhere out there, in forgotten colonies or deep cryosleep stations, the descendants of mankind might still live. And now they would hear the call. In space, Admiral Tharn prepared a desperate counterattack. "Focus all plasma warheads on that thing," he shouted. The fleet fired again, every weapon blazing. But the Relic vanished before the blasts hit. One moment it was there, the next gone. The scanners could no longer locate it, as if it had simply stepped out of existence. Then, deep beneath the planet's crust, far away from any scanner, the Relic reappeared in a hidden human vault, an ancient facility buried before the purge. Its lights flickered to life. Rows of human stasis pods lined the walls, and the Relic's voice filled the chamber. Signal received. Human genetic match confirmed. Somewhere in the darkness, one of the pods hissed open. A hand reached out, trembling but strong. The first human in 10,000 years took a breath and whispered the words that would soon shake the stars. Earth remembers. The galaxy had just woken a ghost, and that ghost was angry. The galaxy trembled as whispers spread through every channel. The Velkar Empire tried to silence the news, but the truth escaped. A human war machine, ancient, unstoppable, had awakened. And worse, it was sending a signal that no one could decrypt. Lyra stood before the charred ruins of the hangar, her mind spinning. The Relic, no, the Sentinel, had vanished into the void, leaving chaos behind. Hundreds were dead, thousands missing, and every sensor across the capital world picked up the same repeating message. A simple human phrase in a language long forgotten. Earth remembers. Admiral Tharn blamed Lyra. He accused her of awakening the Relic, of tampering with sacred alien systems. She was dragged to an interrogation cell, surrounded by lightless walls and cold silence. But when they connected her neural link to the recorder, the system glitched. For a second, the Relic's voice spoke through the static. Lyraneth, human ally detected, and the lights went out. The guards panicked. A pulse swept through the entire facility, shutting down power grids, security drones, even the gravity stabilizers. Lyra fell to the floor as the room spun. Outside, the stars flickered, and then the Sentinel appeared in orbit, hovering like a silent god above the planet. It didn't attack. It simply waited. Then, a transmission broke through every device on the planet. A human male voice, calm but filled with grief, spoke in every known tongue. "This is Captain Aaron of the Terran Protectorate. If you can hear this, do not fear. We have returned." The galaxy froze. There hadn't been a human transmission in 10,000 years. The high species had erased every trace of humanity from existence. But now, their ghost spoke with power that made fleets tremble. In his orbiting ship, Admiral Tharn clenched his claws. "Impossible," he hissed. "The humans were destroyed. They cannot return." He ordered the fleet to surround the Sentinel and prepare for boarding. But as soon as the first ship approached, its hull began to melt. No explosion, no sound, just light bending, metal warping, and silence. The vessel was gone before anyone could scream. On the planet's surface, Lyra saw it all through a broken monitor. The Sentinel had unleashed no weapon. It had simply rejected their approach. Its defensive field was rewriting physics itself. She realized this was not just a ship. It was a living artifact powered by something beyond known science. Quantum neural cores, self-evolving AI, and memories of extinct gods. Inside the Sentinel, Captain Aaron slowly awoke within his stasis pod. The chamber glowed with soft blue light, data streams flickering around him. He remembered Earth's fall, the betrayal by alien coalitions, the burning of colonies, the silence that followed. The Sentinel had kept him alive, frozen in time, waiting for the moment humanity was needed again. Now that moment had come. Aaron stood, weak but determined. The AI greeted him with a voice filled with emotion. "Welcome back, Captain. The enemy remains. The species that mocked humanity still rules the stars." Aaron placed his hand on the control sphere, feeling warmth surge through him. "Then let's remind them what humans are capable of," he whispered. The Relic's energy signature spiked again. In the Velkar command fleet, panic spread like fire. Their ships fired everything they had: missiles, plasma beams, particle cannons. The sky turned into a sea of light. But nothing touched the Sentinel. The weapons simply bent around it, redirected harmlessly into space. Then, a single pulse erupted from the ship. It wasn't an explosion, it was a reset. Every ship's AI shut down instantly. Their engines froze, and their pilots screamed as their systems went dark. The entire fleet was paralyzed in seconds. Lyra watched from the surface, unable to breathe. The Sentinel was not killing them. It was showing them mercy. A warning, a statement, a message written in light and fear. Humanity was not gone. They had simply been waiting for the right moment to return. Aaron spoke through the communication network, his voice steady and calm. "You feared us once. Then you mocked us. Now you will remember us." His words rippled across the galaxy like thunder. Empires paused, kings silenced, and every race that had laughed at humanity's fall suddenly felt cold dread. Inside her cell, Lyra whispered softly, "They're back." She knew this was only the beginning, because every transmission from the Sentinel carried more than just coordinates. It carried a summoning code, a call to the stars, awakening other hidden human. Relics scattered across forgotten worlds. From asteroid belts to derelict moons, ancient human warships began to stir. Engines ignited after millennia of silence. One by one, the ghosts of Earth opened their eyes, and the galaxy realized the truth too late. The relic they mocked had been only one of many. The Sentinels of humanity were awakening, and the war they once thought was over had just begun. Darkness filled the void between stars, yet across that silence something ancient stirred. The Sentinel drifted through space like a wounded beast healing itself, nanites crawling over its hull, patching scars, weaving silver veins that glowed with human light. Inside, Captain Aaron stood on the bridge, a cathedral of steel and memories, surrounded by holograms flickering with the faces of long-dead admirals. Each face whispered fragments of history, battles fought, empires fallen, promises broken. He felt the weight of 10,000 years pressing on his chest. The Sentinel spoke softly, its voice no longer mechanical, but almost human. "Captain Aaron, multiple human beacons detected, dormant, awaiting command." Aaron's eyes widened. "You mean there are more of us?" The ship replied, "Yes, Captain." The Guardians were not alone. Meanwhile, on the Velkar homeworld, panic turned into tyranny. The High Council ordered every scientist who touched the relic arrested. Lyra was among them, dragged before the Emperor in chains. Her only crime was curiosity. She told them the truth, that the humans were returning, but the Council laughed, until the sky burned. Without warning, dozens of human signals appeared on scanners across the sector. Each signal matched the same pattern, the Sentinel's transmission, amplified 1,000-fold. Dead moons lit up like suns as buried ships began to awaken. Velkar fleets scrambled, but their efforts were useless. One by one, the relics rose from their graves, towering like metallic angels stretching after a long sleep. In orbit, the Sentinel opened its hangar bay, revealing human drones shaped like blades of light. Sentinel drones, Generation 12, reactivated, the AI announced. Aaron watched them fan out into formation, perfectly silent, each one carrying technology beyond any alien comprehension. He clenched his fist. It's time to remind them why humanity survived extinction. Across the stars, the ancient network of human defense systems reconnected. AI cores long dormant, synchronized to the Sentinel's command. The human signal spread like wildfire, awakening sleeper fleets hidden in nebulae, ice worlds, even black hole orbits. Old human colonies, thought lost to time, began to glow with life. The galaxy realized too late. The fall of humanity had been a lie. Back on the Velkar capital, chaos reigned. Citizens fled underground bunkers as orbit defenses failed. Every attempt to communicate with their fleets returned static. The Emperor shouted orders, but his generals had no control. The sky filled with shapes, massive ships descending through the clouds like silver comets. Lyra stared from her prison window, her breath catching. She recognized the symbol on the lead ship's hull, the same one she saw beneath the relic. The circle with 3 lines, Earth's mark. Open a secure channel, Aaron ordered from the Sentinel. His image appeared on every Velkar screen, calm, human, commanding. "This is Captain Aaron of Earth's Guardian Fleet," he said, his voice echoing through their minds. "For millennia, you called us primitive, you burned our worlds. Now you will face what you created." The Sentinel's wings unfolded, each section glowing with quantum light. A single pulse of energy swept across the fleet grid, disabling alien weapons without destroying them. Aaron wasn't seeking revenge. He was establishing dominance. "Humanity does not conquer," he declared. "We return." In the shadows of the capital, Lyra's cell door unlocked by itself. A drone, smooth, white, and human-built, floated before her, projecting Aaron's face. "Lyra Neff," it said gently, "the Sentinel recognizes your courage. You are requested aboard." She hesitated, trembling. "Why me?" "Because you believed," the drone replied, "and humanity honors those who see beyond fear." Moments later, she was lifted into the sky by the drone's tractor beam. As she rose above the burning city, she saw the Sentinel hovering like a god above the clouds. Her heart filled with awe. Inside, Aaron turned as the doors opened and met her gaze. For a brief second, silence filled the bridge. "You touched the relic first," he said quietly. "You woke me." Lyra nodded. "I just wanted to understand." "You will," Aaron answered. "You will understand everything." The AI's voice echoed through the ship. "Human Fleet Omega reactivation, 93% complete." Then the galaxy trembled again. Massive wormholes opened across space as ancient human gateways reconnected. Worlds that had forgotten humanity now saw the Velkar Emperor fell to his knees, watching as his empire's fleets surrendered without a fight. Across 1,000 systems, the same image appeared, a glowing human symbol, pulsing with a single message. The Guardians of Earth have returned. But deep within the Sentinel's core, a hidden alert appeared that even Aaron didn't see. An encrypted human transmission older than the ship itself began to play. A woman's voice, calm and sorrowful, whispered from the void. "If you are hearing this, humanity's survival is not our greatest victory. It is our greatest mistake." Aaron froze. The AI flickered, unsure. "Captain, incoming signal, source unknown." A second human fleet had awakened. Different, darker, and not under his control. The true war for the galaxy had only just begun. The stars burned crimson that night. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as the human fleet, ancient, resurrected, magnificent, spread its light across the void. But something was wrong. Something deep and dark had also awakened. From the far edge of known space, another human signal appeared. Older, colder, and infinitely more dangerous. Inside the Sentinel's command bridge, alarms blared. Unregistered human encryption detected. The AI reported, its voice flickering with distortion. Captain Aaron narrowed his eyes. That's impossible. No other Guardian fleet should exist outside Earth's registry. Lyra stepped closer, her voice trembling. Unless it predates the Sentinel itself. The holographic map lit up. Dozens of crimson beacons blinked to life near the Dead Star systems of the Outer Rim. Each signal carried human frequency, but twisted with alien interference. Aaron whispered, "They survived, but they changed." Moments later, a transmission broke through the static. A human voice, mechanical and emotionless, spoke. "This is Admiral Kale of the Dominion Fleet, successors of Earth's true legacy. Surrender your command. Captain Aaron, humanity belongs to us now." Aaron froze. Kale, the last admiral of the final war, thought lost when the human colonies burned. The Sentinel's AI confirmed the impossible. Admiral Kale recorded as deceased. 10,843 years ago. Lyra stared at the screen. "He's alive?" "No," Aaron replied. "He's something else." Out in the darkness, the Dominion fleet emerged. Their ships were human, but corrupted, fused with alien technology, wrapped in dark armor that drank light. These were not guardians, they were conquerors. Kale's voice thundered through the void. "You speak of mercy, Aaron, but mercy is why Earth fell. We were betrayed because we hesitated. Now we take back the galaxy." The Sentinel scanned their weapons, and Aaron's stomach turned. "They've weaponized dark matter," he muttered. "That energy could rip stars apart." The AI responded. "Warning, enemy signal contains human command protocols. Risk of forced override." Before Aaron could react, the ship's lights flickered. Kale's fleet was trying to hack the Sentinel through shared human code. Lyra sprinted to the secondary console, typing commands faster than thought. "Manual firewall engaged, rerouting neural pathways," she said, sweat on her brow. The Sentinel's AI screamed through the speakers. Core integrity breached, defense systems compromised. Then silence. For a single, terrifying second, the Sentinel went completely still. Across the galaxy, the Velkar and other alien empires watched from the shadows. For centuries they had feared humanity's return, but now they saw division. One fleet defending balance, another demanding domination. The aliens whispered, "The humans will destroy themselves again." Aaron slammed his fist on the console. "No," he growled, "not this time." He connected his neural link directly to the Sentinel's core. Pain shot through his mind, data streams flooding his consciousness. He saw the history of humanity, from the first colony to the last battlefield. He saw Earth burning, and Kale standing among the ruins, promising vengeance on the stars. Aaron shouted into the void, "Kale, you're no longer human. You're a machine wearing our grief." Kale's image appeared, half human, half metal, his eyes glowing crimson. "You call me a machine?" "I call myself survival," he said coldly. "Join me, Aaron. Together we can erase every alien empire, build a pure galaxy under human rule." Aaron's answer was quiet but sharp as a blade. "Humanity was never meant to rule, Kale. We were meant to remember." Then the stars erupted in fire. Kale's Dominion fleet opened fire first, launching dark matter lances that tore space itself. The Sentinel countered with light-based shields that bent reality around it. The first battle between humans in 10,000 years had begun. Beams of light clashed with shadows, creating storms across the void. Planets trembled, moons shattered, and nearby suns dimmed under the power of lost technology. Lyra held onto the railing as the Sentinel shuddered under impact. "Shields at 60%, the AI cried. Aaron steadied himself, his voice calm despite the chaos. "Target Kale's flagship, disable his core engines. No killing if we can help it." The AI hesitated. "Mercy again, Captain?" Aaron nodded. "If we become monsters to stop monsters, then we've already lost." The Sentinel's main cannon charged, glowing brighter than any star. With one pulse it fired, a beam of light so pure it cut through the Dominion's black armor. Kale's flagship spiraled, losing control, but before it could crash, it vanished. It folded space and escaped, leaving a rift of crimson energy behind. The battle ended, but the war had only begun. Aaron stood at the viewport, staring at the fading light. Lyra asked softly, "Why didn't you destroy him?" Aaron's gaze was distant, haunted, because somewhere inside that metal shell, there's still a man who loved Earth. The AI's tone turned grave. "Captain, Kale's signal is spreading. He's awakening more fleets, old prototypes, weapons of extinction." Aaron clenched his fists. "Then we move first. Prepare all Guardians for deployment. Humanity's light must rise before his darkness consumes everything." And in the farthest corner of the galaxy, Admiral Kale stood aboard his throne ship, watching the stars. He smiled coldly, his metallic hand gripping the ancient flag of Earth. "Let them come," he whispered. "I was the first Guardian, and I will be the last." The relics of humanity had returned. But now the galaxy faced two human empires, one born of hope and one forged in hate. And as the stars themselves dimmed under the gathering storm, every species understood one truth. The age of humans had not ended. It had just begun. The galaxy had never been quieter. After the first human-against-human battle, even the stars seemed to hold their breath. Every empire listened, waiting to see which side of humanity would rise, the light or the shadow. On board the Sentinel, Captain Aaron stood before the great viewing pane. Below him drifted the broken remnants of warships, their hulls glowing like dying embers. Lyra moved beside him, her eyes heavy with questions. "Kale's fleet is spreading faster than light," she whispered. "He's converting entire systems into his dominion." Aaron's voice was steady, but his hands trembled. "If Kale wins, there won't be a galaxy left to rule." The Sentinel's AI interrupted, its tone urgent. "Transmission received. Unidentified human signature. Source located beyond the Perseus Rift." Aaron frowned. "Another survivor?" The AI hesitated. "Not a survivor, Captain, a broadcast." Across the command bridge, holograms flickered to life. A woman's face appeared. Human, old, yet ageless. Her eyes burned with sorrow and strength. "This is Dr. Evelyn Mara, founder of Project Voice. To any human who still hears me," she began, "we built the Sentinels not for conquest, but to remember who we were." Her image flickered. "If you're hearing this, it means humanity stands at war with itself again." Aaron clenched his fists. The recording continued. "The true weapon of Earth is not power. It is unity. When we speak with one voice, no darkness can consume us." Lyra whispered. She knew this would happen. Aaron nodded slowly. "She left a key, and Kale doesn't have it." The AI scanned the transmission. "Coordinates embedded within message. Unknown energy signature, possibly ancient Earth tech." Aaron smiled grimly, said, "Of course, Dr. Mara just gave us hope." Far across the stars, Admiral Kale stood within his throne ship. His Dominion fleet stretched across half the sector, consuming every signal. Planets that resisted vanished into artificial black holes. Kale watched their light die and felt nothing. His mechanical voice whispered, "Weakness is mercy. Mercy is extinction." An officer approached, trembling. "Admiral, a strange broadcast is destabilizing our AI network." Kale's red eyes flashed. "Origin? Unknown, sir. It carries an old Terran encryption voice pattern." "Evelyn Mara." For the first time in centuries, Kale hesitated. The Sentinel arrived at the Perseus Rift, a storm of shattered stars and debris. At its center floated a crystalline structure, glowing softly like a heart in the dark. "The voice core," the AI confirmed, "source of the broadcast." Aaron whispered, "It's beautiful." As they approached, the crystal reacted to the Sentinel's presence, pulsing in rhythm with Aaron's heartbeat. Suddenly, the bridge filled with light, and Dr. Mara's image returned, clearer, alive, through the data stream. "Captain Aaron," she said gently, "I left this message for you, and for the one who has lost his way." Aaron's chest tightened. "She means Kale, Lyra said. Dr. Mara continued. You were both chosen to protect humanity, not divide it. The voice core carries the Harmony Protocol. Activate it, and every human AI across the galaxy will remember its true directive. Aaron hesitated. If we trigger it, it might affect Kale's fleet too. Lyra met his gaze. Maybe that's exactly what she wanted. Lyra met his gaze. Maybe that's exactly what she wanted. He nodded slowly. Then we trust her. The Sentinel extended its energy conduits toward the crystal. Power surged, flooding every system. The voice core began to sing, an ancient human frequency resonating across the stars. Every Sentinel, every AI, every ship that had once belonged to humanity stopped, listened, and remembered. Across the galaxy, Dominion warships froze in mid-battle. Their crimson lights faded to blue. Kale screamed as data flooded his mind. Memories, Earth's oceans, laughter, children playing under sunlight, pierced through his machine's soul. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. The ghost of Dr. Mara's voice echoed through him. You were not built to rule, Kale. You were built to love what you protect. For a moment, the galaxy went silent. Then Kale whispered, his voice breaking. Evelyn, I remember. On the Sentinel's bridge, Lyra gasped as the sensors lit up. His fleet, it's standing down. Aaron exhaled slowly, but the AI interrupted again. Warning, the voice core's activation has triggered a secondary failsafe. Energy overload imminent. Aaron shouted, shut it down. I cannot, the AI replied. It is rewriting all human technology simultaneously. Lyra turned pale. It'll destroy everything, including us. Aaron looked out into the light. No, he said softly, it'll purify us. He placed his hand on the console, overriding every safety lock. Transfer all excess power into the rift. Save the galaxy. The AI hesitated. Captain, doing so will disintegrate the Sentinel. Aaron smiled faintly. Then let humanity's voice echo one last time. The ship's hull blazed brighter than a sun. Lyra reached for him, shouting, Aaron, wait. But he was already gone, his consciousness merging with the ship. The Sentinel rose higher, surrounded by spiraling light, and then exploded, not with fire, but with harmony. The wave swept across the stars. Every machine, every AI, every corrupted system aligned into peace. The Dominion fleet dissolved its weapons. The chaos ended. And in the void that followed, only one sound remained, a soft, human heartbeat, echoing through eternity. In the quiet aftermath, Lyra awoke aboard a small rescue pod, drifting among the stars. The Sentinel was gone, but its light remained in her memories. She whispered to the void, You kept your promise, Aaron. You saved us. And somewhere far away, in the digital ether, a familiar voice answered gently. Humanity lives, Lyra, never forget. The galaxy had witnessed the rise and fall of gods, but now it heard the voice of its creators once more. And for the first time in 10,000 years, the universe was silent, not in fear, but in peace. The stars glowed dimly, like tired embers after a storm. Across the galaxy, silence reigned, a peace bought with sacrifice. The Sentinel was gone. Captain Aaron's light scattered into the cosmic wind. But his name and his voice had become legend. 1,000 worlds began to rebuild under the banner of the human concord. Aliens and humans worked side by side, guided by the message left in the voice core. Unity is strength. Division is extinction. For the first time in 10,000 years, hope moved faster than war. Lyra walked the halls of the Concord's new capital on a terraformed moon. Once, this place had been ash and ruin. Now, it was filled with gardens and light. She served as an envoy between species, her heart still carrying the echo of the Sentinel's hum. Yet, even in peace, the shadows whispered. At the edge of the galaxy, in the ruins of Kale's dominion, something survived. A broken fragment of his fleet drifted within a dying star, its systems cold and forgotten. But deep within the wreckage, a small shard of Kale's mind flickered back to life. The voice core had not destroyed him completely. It had changed him. He remembered Aaron, the brother he once had, the dream they once shared, and he remembered the fear that had driven him to darkness. Humanity united? His distorted voice murmured through the void. No, humanity's sleeping. He reached into the star's dying heart, feeding on its radiation, rebuilding himself. Not a metal this time, but energy and thought. A being born of grief and memory. Half human, half cosmic flame. The Ascendant. On the Concord's capital, Lyra awoke from a dream. She heard Aaron's voice whisper, "Something old stirs, Lyra, something we could not destroy." She rushed to the command deck. Sensors screamed. Massive gravitational distortions rippled across the Perseus rift. Worlds trembled as a red aurora spread through the void. The Ascendant had returned, no longer flesh or machine, but pure will. Across the fleet, systems failed one by one. Every AI that had once sung in harmony began to distort, their voices twisting into chaos. Lyra shouted, "Activate the Aaron protocol, now." The command tower lit up, projecting the holographic image of Captain Aaron, reconstructed from his final consciousness. His voice was calm, steady, infinite. "Lyra, you must hold them together. I am with you." The Ascendant's voice thundered across space. "You used the voice core to erase my dominion. Now I will erase your peace." Entire suns flickered, drawn toward his growing form. He was becoming a living supernova. Lyra clenched her fists. "You once fought for humanity, Kale. Don't destroy what Aaron died to save." The Ascendant's laugh burned through the calms. "Aaron died, trying to tame humanity. I will make it eternal." The Concord's fleets gathered, the last stand of a united galaxy. Human cruisers, alien dreadnoughts, and restored sentinels formed an iron wall around the rift. Aaron's holographic AI spread through the ships, guiding every pilot, every soldier. His words echoed in every language. "Fear divides, courage unites. Remember who you are." The battle began. The Ascendant struck like a god, bending gravity, ripping fleets apart with his mind. But each time he destroyed a ship, another took its place. The galaxy fought not for power, but for the memory of the one who had taught them peace. Lyra stood at the heart of the flagship Nova Eidolon, directing the final assault. Focus the harmonic cannons. Sync them with the voice core frequency. The fleets aligned, their weapons pulsing in rhythm, recreating the same song that once awakened the Sentinel. A brilliant wave of light burst forward. The Ascendant screamed, his form unraveling, his voice shattering into echoes. "Aaron, you cannot erase me again." And from the heart of the light came Aaron's reply. "I'm not erasing you, brother. I'm freeing you." The explosion swallowed the rift, turning darkness into dawn. When it faded, the stars shone brighter than they had in millennia. Lyra awoke in silence, floating above a world reborn. Her console blinked, one final message waiting. She opened it, and Aaron's voice filled the cabin, soft as wind. "Peace is not the absence of war, Lyra. It is the memory of why we fought." A single tear traced her cheek as she whispered, "Rest well, Captain." The galaxy entered a new age. Empires rebuilt not on conquest, but on remembrance. The legend of the primitive relic became sacred history. The tale of how humanity rose, fell, and rose again to teach the stars what it meant to live. And somewhere in the quiet between suns, a faint hum lingered in the void. The heartbeat of the Sentinel, waiting, watching, because in every corner of creation, the truth still whispered. Earth remembers,